Hey, what's going on, guys? Well, I want to do a direct comparison between two flashlights. I have a Thrunite TN12 and I have a Streamlight Protac HL. Now, I don't do this very often, but I had this light recommended to me by two different people. So I went out to Amazon and I purchased it. I ordered it, it came, and I wanted to compare it to this light because the first message I got was someone saying that they had the TN12 and they got the Streamlight and they think it's a better light. So I want to compare them. So the first thing I want to do is kind of show you what this stuff came with. The Thrunite, there's been a full review. I'll briefly go over what's in there, but I'll put that to the side here for a second. And just show you what the Streamlight came with because I didn't do an unboxing with this at all. Basically, it came in a clamshell pack. This was in the back part of it. Obviously, this is your little sheath for it. The sheath isn't all that bad. Again, you guys know, don't really use these all that much. Just has some Velcro on the front. Velcro for the back enclosure. This does not have, like this part on the bottom doesn't pull up like on a lot of the Thrunite ones, so you're just kind of stuck with the Velcro. It does work. I don't really see anything wrong with it if you do use those, but of course, design-wise, there are some things I would change. It did come with two brand new batteries. These are Duracell CR123s. Okay, these kind of fit in the package like that. And when I opened up the flashlight, inside the battery tube was this message, and this reads, warning, fire, explosion, and burn hazard. Use only Streamlight, Panasonic, Sanyo, or Energizer CR123A or Duracell 123s. Do not mix brands or old and new batteries. See instructions for details. All right, so just a quick note there. That was in there awaiting me. And this is just the packaging. This basically gives you some information about the light. And the reverse gives you your light chart if you want to pause it there and check it out. You can read that there. All right, so I just want to show you the packaging for this. Open this up. We'll pop our batteries in here. A quick note is that I do very much prefer 18650s for lights that use two CR123s. Now, when I did my first video on this, the light battle, or light fight, I forget what I named it, for that video, both of these flashlights had CR123s in them, okay? Not the 18650. I actually get a little bit more performance with an 18650 out of the Thrunite, okay? I wanted to use an 18650, I wanted to use an 18650 with this light, but they don't fit, okay? So this, to me, right off the bat, was a big downside. A lot of lights that use two CR123s, like the Thrunite and like many different brands, they actually make the body a little bit wider, which allows something like an 18650 to fit in there. And they'll also give you a spacer if you do choose to use the CR123s. In the case of the Thrunite here, I have an option of using either one. Okay, I prefer the 18650s because they're just easy to charge. They do actually last a little bit longer with the power. It's just a little bit safer in my opinion. But I don't have that option here, so you just are stuck with the two CR123s. Not the end of the world, but definitely disappointing. So right off the bat, I wasn't so happy about this particular model. So anyway, that's the Streamlight, what you get with that. Take a quick peek at the Thrunite, but again, you guys have seen this, but just to recap if you haven't seen that, of course you get your paperwork, which gives you all the information you need, the sheath, which I do like quite a bit, you get your spare tail cap, all right, and your spare O-rings in here. You do get the pocket clip. I've said this before, I don't like the fact that there's a stainless pocket clip with an all black flashlight. I would like to see a black clip, all right, but I don't really use these. I did keep it on this one just to show you guys in this video. But basically that's it for the Thrunite stuff. All right, so now that's out of the way, we'll talk about both lights, give you the pros and cons. Obviously runtime, stuff like that. It could be a little bit boring. I'll run through the specs in a minute because I want to kind of focus on just actually using these and talking about how they perform for me. First off, a number one thing that I look for in flashlights is the fact that it can tail stand. I do like the fact that the Streamlight does tail stand because of the extension here, or the buttons recess a little bit more. It does not tail stand as easily as the Thrunite. It's a little bit more wobbly. If I put it on a flat surface here. It is top heavy, okay, so it tends to wobble a little bit and that button sticks out just enough to make it a little bit less sturdy. However, it does tail stand, so no big deal. I do like this quite a bit. If you haven't, seen other videos, I can reference the fact that when a light can tail stand, you can use it in a power outage to light up a room. That is a huge bonus for me. In fact, one of the major reasons why I store so many flashlights in my house, so I can put them in every single room in case there's a power outage. I have no problem with light at night. So that's the first thing. I do like the fact that it does do that, but not quite as good as the TN12. The other thing I mentioned in the other video is the heads are very different. Okay, huge bulbous head, a lot deeper reflector on here. Also, if you notice, the reflector is stippled on the Streamlight, and we have a smooth reflector on the Thrunite. And if you guys saw in that video, the first video with the actual beam shots, even though this tops out at 600 lumens, it has more throw than the Thrunite, the TN12. This is 1050 lumens compared to 600 lumens, but because of the reflector, because of the setup of it, it just has more concentrated beam towards the center. So your hotspot actually projects more light further. Obviously, that's going to be contributed to the deeper reflector. However, because it was larger, though, I thought that I might have a little bit more spill. That seems to be the trend in a lot of different brands and models I've used in the past. So a little bit surprising to see that. So, overall, this Streamlight is very good build quality, and it does have more throw than the Thrunite, but if you reference the beam shots, the Thrunite does have more spill, so it's more of an area light. So when it comes down to really kind of picking between the two, obviously price is going to be a consideration. The TN12 is 50 bucks. It is cheaper. I paid 67, I believe, on the Streamlight on Amazon, which is the best price I can find. They did have it for more there, so you're talking about $15, $20 difference in price. But the Thrunite does have more modes, which we'll talk about in a second here. A quick note on the buttons here. Okay, and comparing them, I don't really care about texture. It's a rubber button or boot basically for your clicky switch on the flashlight. But the one thing I did notice is this is a much squishier, softer button, whereas this is a stiffer button. So just total reference. But this one, the actual rubber flops around a little bit further than this one. In other words, the rubber's right up against that switch. Okay, on the Thrunite. But anyway, I want to show how this one works since I didn't do a full review of this light. Not sure if I will. I just kind of want to compare them for this video. But basically, this is how the user interface works, okay? If you hold it, halfway down, it does do momentary on, okay? And it automatically goes right into that high mode of 600 lumens. Of course, you can click it, and that will keep the constant on, right? In order to get to the other modes, you have to do momentary quickly, okay? 1, 2, 3. So there's 3 modes on this. The high automatically is first. The second one is going to be strobe, and the third one is going to be the low mode. In this case, it's 33 lumens. So if I want to get to low, I have to do high, medium, low, or high, strobe, low. Okay. If I want the strobe, it's just a double, 1, 2. And any mode that I'm in, I could click down for constant on. But I just don't like the fact that I have to scroll through the modes, and I have to be quick about it. If I'm not quick, it just goes back to high. I have a hard time sometimes getting to that low mode. I go high, and then there you go, I got it this time, but sometimes it'll skip over, go right back to high. So the UI on this is not to my liking. Is there anything wrong with it? No, it's certainly not my preference though. In the case of the Thrunite, there's a separate button on the side to switch through modes, so I do just prefer that. It's just easier. It's very straightforward to get to your different modes, having a separate dedicated button for that. Some people might like that, some people might not like it. It comes down to preference. Some people might like the fact that with this one, you're only holding that one spot. Whereas with the Thrunite, obviously once you turn it on, then you have to either change grips or whatever. It's a separate thing. It's definitely preference. But as far as modes, this does lack all the intermediate modes that some people like. The Thrunite goes all the way down to 0.3 lumens. Now, I'll give you the rundown real quick. Again, I don't want to keep repeating myself with this one because I showed it so many times. But 0.3 lumens has a runtime of 66 days. 66 days. Next mode up is 20 lumens for 74 hours, then 280 lumens for 5 hours, 800 lumens for 108 minutes, and 1050 lumens for 90 minutes. And of course, strobe will be basically double of your high mode for runtime. Now with this one, it only has 3 modes. The low mode, I would say, it's low enough. 33 lumens is low enough to be low light. It's not the 0.3 you're getting with the Thrunite, of course. So I don't like that all that much. I do like the super low modes. I do find them to be helpful. Talked about that in past videos. But 33, you know, it's not bad. It's not like, you know, 200 and then 600. So props for them, their low being somewhat low. You get an 18-hour runtime on that, and then high is going to be 75 minutes of runtime. All right, so the Streamlight, you're talking 600 lumens for 75 minutes, whereas the Thrunite, 1050 lumens for 90 minutes. Now, when you really see these different lights in action, it's a little bit deceiving because, again, you know, 1050 lumens, this light is brighter than this light. And you can reference light charts and stuff like that. Again, I've said it a million times in flashlight videos, but candlepowerforums.com, best place on the planet, on the internet, anyway, to talk about flashlights and get very detailed specifications. Those guys over there have light boxes and light measuring tools, and they're into it. You want all the specs, you want to get geeky about your flashlights, go over there and look that up. But even though this light is much brighter, this one does have more throw. It has the center beam is just more concentrated light. So if you're trying to reach out further, even though it's not as bright, this one does go further, okay? But this one, again, has more spill, so it's more of an area light. In my particular case, the lights that I have that have a lot of throw, they're bigger lights that are dedicated for that. Like if I kind of want to use a flashlight to play around, you know, that's what I'm talking about, the bigger, more expensive lights. As far as like an EDC light, even though these are a little bit larger than my preferred EDC, you know, most of the time you're going to be using it within a certain range. So having the throw is not beneficial to my specific need, but some people might prefer that. But again, it's got about 15 or 20 on the more price tag for it. So if you want something really simple, the Streamlight is definitely the better option, but it is pretty simple. Basically 2 modes plus strobe. I don't like how you have to cycle through them. That's a negative to me, you know, but you know, to each their own. The construction, though, I can say is spot on. It's great. The knurling's fine on here. The pocket clip does work very well. The pocket clip is removable, as you can see. You could pop that off if you wanted to. It's really not a bad construction light. The construction is very good. I've had multiple Streamlights in the past, so quality is not really an issue there at all. It's just the fact that you're a little bit limited in comparison with this. You know, this one's cheaper, and you know, at the end of the day, it really comes down to preference as to what kind of options you want in your light. This has many more modes, and it's a little bit more versatile. So I do like the Thrunite in this particular case, but I really appreciate people recommending different stuff. I get recommendations for knives and lights all the time. I don't always have, you know, the availability to get certain things to review, but this time I jumped on it. Like I said, 2 different people in like 3 days that said they wanted to see it, so I got it and you know, did the review for you guys. So I might or might not do I'm actually not going to do a full review on this light, so because I basically went over everything you need to know about it anyway in this video, but I really just want to compare these two and talk about it a little bit. Again, for me, the biggest downside on this light is that it's not 18650 compatible, and it's actually a little bit more rare to see lights that only use 2 CR123s and they don't have that option for an 18650. It's become commonplace in the flashlight industry to make it 18650 compatible with the option of some kind of a sleeve or, you know, a filler piece that you can use those CR123s without them rattling. So a little bit disappointing in that sense, and the UI just threw me off a little bit. But if those things were different, I would love the light. You know, there's nothing too bad to say about it. It just comes down to preference. But hopefully this, you know, informs some people on these flashlights. And if you're interested, of course, you can ask questions down below. If you own the Streamlight, Protac HL, or any other similar model to that, let me know your experiences with it, you know, how you feel about them. Might try some different models in the future. Again, I've been a Thrunite fan, you know, since I've been introduced to them many months ago. And that's basically most of the lights I use. I use pretty much only Thrunite and Olight. There's lots of really awesome companies out there. You know, 47s is a great company. Nightcore is an awesome company. Obviously, you know, Surefire and stuff. But, you know, it comes down to price, what you're getting, preferences. And I've just been really comfortable with the Thrunite stuff, you know, the past probably year. So that's why, you know, I mostly use those lights. But anyway, you guys will see some more flashlight reviews in the future and comparisons. I do have a headlamp that I want to review very soon. That's very cool. But for this one, just wanted to say thanks for the recommendation. And I will do this again in the future. You know, if enough people have an interest in something and want to see it, of course, I'll do my best to show you guys. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. All comments are welcome. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Take it easy.